Broncos had 4 spots left on their roster. You can have as many as 90. That number increased from 80 a few years ago. Dan Reeves, as one of the players was here the other day, when Dan Reeves was here, he'd bring in 125, 130 players. They'd get off the bus and he'd go, hey, want to come to camp? And he found a Bob Swinson. He found a few guys. It was reduced because it'd gotten completely out of hand. It was like Oklahoma football where they'd sign 120 guys to scholarships just to keep them from going to Nebraska. It's now at 90. The Broncos, I think, after all of the dust had settled of the draft and signing free agents, had about 86 spots. They cut a couple of guys. They've now added 4 guys, and the 2 guys on waivers, I think, are camp fillers, but I don't really know anything about them. I mean, do you know their names?
Well, Porter,
anything?
the kid from TCU, the receiver, I mean, he's an interesting guy. He's a slot guy who played well last year for TCU. He's got a chance. They signed a guard from Buffalo, the Buffalo Bulls. That's a great mascot, by the way. That's just the Buffalo Bulls. But they picked up Jensen off the waivers, the tight end. Now, he has a shot because Jeff Hireman's out for the season. You know, the 3rd-round pick, as everyone knows, in a special teams drill, blows out his knee. He's out for the season. So Marcel Jensen, the kid from the Jaguars, he has a shot just based on the depth chart and the fact he's already been in the league. Porter is a slot guy. He's an interesting guy. He fits that Wes Welker mode, 5'11 and a half, 205. But in terms of making the team, I mean, Porter would be a long shot. Where Jensen, in theory, has a shot. We just don't know how much they're going to use, how much they're going to use James Casey at tight end. And if they do, then I don't know that Jensen has a shot.
Well, I thought James Casey was really brought in to be sort of what we used to call an H-back or fullback. And they still need a fullback in this system.
Juwan Thompson should be it, but they don't talk. They're not talking about him in those terms right now,
which is surprising.
They haven't ruled it out, but they're not saying like, "Oh yeah, we've got a fullback in Juwan Thompson." They're saying that Joe Don Duncan, James Casey, and Juwan Thompson are all in the mix, and obviously, Juwan Thompson's the true running back of those groups, of that grouping. But yeah, Casey and Duncan, Joe Don Duncan, are much more like the H-back. Who the hell is
Joe Don Duncan?
He's from California. Before you start, then say he's from Tennessee. He's not from Tennessee. He didn't play for Arkansas. He didn't play in the SEC. He's from California. But Joe Don.
Well, California's a big state. Like, did he play at
near Fresno. He's like a junior college guy.
San Luis.
No, he played Dixie College. Dixie College is where he finished. And then he was like out of the league. It's a weird story, but
Dixie College
the JUCO.
Dixie College in California. Dixie College belongs in Dixie, doesn't it?
I know. That's what I'm saying. It's a strange story.
What do you think their nickname might be?
Dixie College.
Anybody? What would you call if you were Dixie College? What would you call your sports team? The Dixie Cups.